Alright, so I'm gonna do a technical analysis on tickers that I look at, and I just got a new microphone, so let's see if it's gonna work better. Today is Sunday, February 23 of 2020. So first we're looking here at is the monthly chart of the SPX, S&P 500. So you can see this trend line is still inactive. It's still here, it's still rejecting the price. If we zoom in here, we wicked above it, and yeah, we're getting a little bit of rejection here. So we gotta watch this trend line, make sure we being vigilant. And maybe it's like a rising wedge here, but there's been lots of rising wedges before, so yeah. Anyway, so with the S&P 500, we're having slight bearish divergence here. We're starting on the bearish divergence. Let's see what this week coming up is going to bring us. Just going to adjust this trend line to fit us on the weekly chart. So we got something like that, right? And you can see, for example, here we had a rising wedge, but we broke bull out of it. So there's no reason we can't break bull again. And if we do start to consolidate on the weekly, this will act as support together with this 21 EMA here. So anyway, it's bullish. We're still uptrending. We're uptrending on the weekly. We're having some consolidation on the daily. Technically, this was the higher low, and we lost it. So we're no longer uptrending. On Friday, we had a dump here, and we are getting supported right now by this 21 EMA. So, until we change the weekly trend to bearish, bulls are in full control. There's 8 EMA coming up as well as this support, the green one here. So we will see what's going to happen. What I'm looking for to even consider entering bearish on the S&P 500. I need weekly to have bearish divergence, which it sort of does. You got the high here, but you got high low on the other side. And then on the daily, I want bearish divergence as well, which we are getting. So we're getting high here, but we're getting a lower high here on the daily. And I need a clear break of daily uptrend. And this daily high low is not that convincing for me. So what I would really like to see is a little bounce here again, and then another rejection to get a bearish divergence on the daily. We could set a lower high on the RSI, and that way we will also be having a little bounce on the weekly as well, and set a bearish divergence. It's too dangerous to enter a bearish positions without really nice, huge conviction, because everybody wants the market to go up. Everybody's leveraged long. The Federal Reserve is printing QE, not QE, whatever it is. They're injecting a lot of liquidity into the markets through this repo operations. You should Google what that means, but it's pretty important. And anyway, so that's what we have on S&P 500, uptrending on the weekly. So that's bullish. Gold. One sec, just looking back on S&P 500. Yeah, let's have a look at gold. So gold is looking extremely good. extremely good. It had a equilibrium here, which broke bullish, and we're having a really nice follow through on gold. So you see it's getting tighter, it's setting higher lows and lower highs, and it got extremely tight on Friday, and on Friday it broke 17th of February, right? So on 14th of February, it broke through here. We had a break, and I actually posted this break, and I bought some silver, actually, not gold, on this breakout. So anyway, huge follow through. We broke the highs, the recent highs of January. I think this is the Soleimani shenanigans with a run. And if we look on the weekly chart here, we're basically highest price since the huge dump here, since this equilibrium broke bearish, and that was back in 2013. So it's a multi-year high. For gold, it's bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna keep going up and setting higher highs and higher lows, and possibly breaking out and setting all-time highs for gold, because everything is lining up for gold. The technicals look good, and the fundamentals also make sense, because the Federal Reserve started QE, printing money again, and the what do you call it, the Federal Reserve printing money, then the interest rates are super low and negative in some parts, like in Europe, and the US Federal Reserve is reducing the rates as well. So Trump wants to print until the election, and to keep the market up. So we are bullish for gold, because there's everybody is starting to be careful of this of the stock market. So gold's looking good. I'm in, and I will continue to hold gold and silver, and probably add on the dips if we do have. So silver here on the daily that's the breakout here of the channel, and that's where I bought on the breakout, and I'm going to be holding. The silver is looking weaker than gold. If you notice, the gold has broken this January high, but silver has not yet been able to do so. So that's what we want. We want to break out, and we want to go on gold, keep going higher. And you can see here, it sort of looks like maybe like a cup and handle-ish kind of formation. You can see here from there we pretty much hit the golden pocket exactly, and the Fibonacci's. So that's where we bounced, and I did buy some on the dip here. I don't have a position large enough that I like in silver, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe we will reject from this resistance here, and then I can load up some more on it, or possibly at EMA 8 once it catches up to it. So I mean, yeah, precious metals are bullish, and everybody is bullish in them. So, and this is the gold and silver ratio we're looking at. So gold and silver ratio, I guess on the daily here, it's just been, gold has been going up against silver, and now it had a bear break. So now it's this trend line here is getting retested. Let's see if on Monday when the market's open, let's see if it's gonna hold and reject, and silver will start going up faster than gold, because what the silver bulls want silver bulls have got this rising wedge, gold and silver ratio rising wedge. So the higher this is, the cheaper silver is compared to gold. So if this rising wedge breaks out bearish, and then silver is going up faster than gold, or maybe if the gold keeps going up faster, then we might retest this wedge up the top here. And you can see over here, we on the monthly time frame here, we tested the wedge, and we with a wick here, and we bounced above, and now we're back inside the wedge. So everybody, including myself, thought that this was the breakdown, but nope, the gold bulls came back and bought it again. So we're gonna have to wait some more and have a look if there's gonna be a second test of this trend line, see if it's gonna break. All right, so let's move on to Bitcoin. So look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, this one is on Binance. There's a bit less history here, but what you can see is this trend line here, and right now this trend line is a little forming a rejection wick here. So we're gonna have to see if this month, today is 23rd, so we still got one more week. If the Bitcoin will get rejected, and we're gonna form another wick here, and we will close below this trend line or not, and then we have a chance of dropping lower and retesting this trend line, which is this long-term trend line as well from January 2019, and whether we will test it around 8.5k, which would be a good loading point up there. Another way of looking at this is that if I switch back to a Bitfinex chart here, we got a huge equilibrium. So we got a high, we got a higher low, we got lower high, we got higher low, and now we're looking for a lower high somewhere here, and whether this was our lower high or not. So we need to pull back to confirm that this was our lower high, because we can easily, on the monthly time frame, we can go up higher. And if we have a look on the Fibonacci retracement, we basically right now we are below the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement here. So we might want to go higher and close somewhere at around 11k, which would be the golden pocket. We can quite easily do that. If that happens, we will also break above this trend line, and we will confirm the breakout above the trend line, and the bulls will get more excited if that happens, if we keep going up here. Yeah, it's very interesting right now. We basically got until the end of the week to close this month, and the closure of this month will be very, very important for this structure. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Let's have a look on the weekly. On the weekly, what we have is we are uptrending here quite strongly since the beginning of the year, since November, and since December 2019, pretty much for 2020, all of 2020 we are uptrending, and we have not really set a high low, except maybe this little high low over here on the weekly, but it's not very, it hasn't been tested enough. You can see it's on a low volume here as well. So bulls want to set up this higher low, and you can see that we came down here and we almost tested the weekly 8 EMA, and the dip has been bought so far. What do we have? We have 16 hours in this weekly candle. So if it closes like this, that looks pretty good for the bulls. We tested this, and this could be our new high low, and it's sort of like a bull flag, I guess, almost for the bulls here on the weekly, and we can keep going up. That would be very, very good, very, very good, I guess. What else is here? I can see that's pretty much it. We're bullish. we're looking bullish so far. Let's have a look on the daily. So on the daily, we were uptrending. We broke this trend line here. So now we're below it, and now we're forming possibly this white channel here, drawn in white dashed lines. This one here, and now we're about to retest this broken trend line. Now it was support, now it's resistance, and we're also going to test this trend line here, which is like a flag, a bull flag formation, sort of trend line, or descending channel, I guess. So the bulls want to break it, but I think we will reject it. At least for the first go here and consolidate. And you can see here, well, the day has just started. So there's 16 hours left to go. There's low volume here, and we got the low volume on this consolidation. You can see the reducing volume quite a lot in the last 2 days. So any type of volume injection will either break upwards or break downwards the action. Let's just zoom in a little bit on the 4 hour and have a look. So we had this sideways action here, and the bulls seem to be trying to pump the price now. We just closed the 4 hour, this 4 hour here, and we are about to close this 4 hour candle, and you can see that the bulls are trying to inject some bull volume here and see what's going to happen. Over here. So we're still a little bit away from it. We are 1% away and 2% away from white and yellow trend line. So maybe I'm not in at the moment in Bitcoin, and I would be trading Ethereum anyway, but I would need a confirmation we're breaking above here. So, breakout, then consolidate, and maybe get in on the consolidation and for continuation here. And that means we will break out of this channel. And what it would mean is we are, let's go back on the daily here. That means we are closing above the daily 21 EMA, which is key support here. So if we're closing above it, closing above the 8 EMA as well on the daily, and also on the weekly. That means on the weekly we have set a higher low at 9,350, and we are bounced off the 8 EMA, and the bulls are ready to continue upwards to this area here, which is going to be this golden pocket here, right? Let's get it a bit. So this golden pocket here, this is what the bulls will be aiming for the next stage. So yeah. And the other thing you can see here is that the wick down here on the weekly from this trend line. I guess on the weekly this trend line doesn't. It's not as clear because you got the bull trap over here and you got the bull trap over here, and this could easily be a bull trap over here as well. So we need the monthly more so than the weekly to confirm breakout, because you can see long wick rejection, long wick rejection, long wick rejection, long wick rejection, and a big dump after 1, 2, 3, 4 5 even long wicks rejections. We got the dump, and now we're forming a new wick here. This is a wick rejection as well. So we will see. So what I'm gonna do actually is I wanna redraw this trend line and see how it's gonna look like on the weekly chart. The weekly chart, it looks good on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, we have broken above it. This is actually very, very nice. Very, very nice. So, and we've actually retested it and we bounced off it. So this is very good for the bulls. So as long as this is basically key now. We want to make sure that we don't drop lower than this level here. This level here, 9290. because it's supported by ATMA, it's supported by this week, it's supported by this trend line, retest of the trend line. It's like a bull flag bottom, I guess, and also on the daily we don't want to drop below it, because it's going to be means that we're pretty much breaking below the daily 21 EMA. So yeah, very, very interesting. Let's have a look at the 4-hour volume here. So yeah, it's a bit of increasing volume, I guess, but it's compared to these volumes, it's small, but we're getting more than average here, so that's good. So yeah, bulls are looking good for continuation. We just need to confirm this and break above 10,491 on Bitfinex, and then we are off to the races. Off to the races to retest. To the next resistance will be this one here on the weekly, and this is a double top as well here, so might have a nice breakout if we break this double top. But the next resistance will be 12,325. So it's, what is it, 20%? So 20%, as well as the golden pocket, which is nearby at around 11k. So so bulls looking good. Bulls looking good if we can keep above 9290. So yeah, that's Bitcoin here. Bitcoin dominance. Just a quick look at Bitcoin dominance. We've dumped out of this channel here. We had an uptrending channel and we broke below it, so we got Ethereum gaining quite a bit and other altcoins. So looking at Ethereum, here, we have we're having this 2 weeks, and we got 16 hours left. So bulls wanna make this top wick on this candle shorter, and that way they will have more momentum going upwards. So we're gonna have to see next 16 hours. Is gonna be very interesting what the algos wanna draw for us. What it's gonna look like. Whether we're gonna, go more down or close right here, and it's gonna look pretty ugly with the two tweezer tops, or we're gonna push up more and close somewhere around 280, and that will be looking much better for the bulls and much better for the continuation here. But you can see there's a huge run up here, and it is getting a bit extended. And look at the RSI here. The RSI is reaching overbought. It's currently above 70, and it hasn't been overbought since the all-time high, which is crazy, of $1,400. So yeah, it's pretty crazy right now on Ethereum. So Ethereum is much more bullish than Bitcoin, and you can see here it is and also just to show you real quick, if we have a look at the Fibs retracement, why we're pausing here is because this is where the Fibonacci golden pocket is between 0.618 and 0.65. I put a box there as well, so that's why we rejected from here with a wick and another wick here. So if we can break above it, it's going to be notable, the strength, especially because we haven't set a higher low on the weekly since pretty much the start over here. It's just looking incredible. So we've had some hacks recently with this DeFi stuff. Abuse of the smart contracts, and seems to not put too much dent in the Ethereum. So looking back at the daily, we're looking back at the daily here, and on the daily we can clearly see that there is a daily is in equilibrium here, right? So you got the high, you got the low, you got the lower high, and you got the higher low here. Sorry, you got the higher low here at 245, and now we're looking where the lower high is gonna be. where the lower high is going to be. So the closer we get to the resistance, the more bullish it looks. You can see the daily 21 EMA hasn't even been touched, where on Bitcoins we did break below it for a little bit of time over here. So that's what it looks like. And the other thing is that so the other support we have, if we do dump, we broke above this 218 dump, which was this area here when we had the capitulation on Bitcoin. So we're back above it right now. And the bulls this time, they definitely want to hold this, if anything, and it will line up with this trend line. But we're not going to talk about it because we're still in this equilibrium, and we can easily break bullish here. So let's have a quick look on the 4-hour. This 4-hour just closed, and yeah, we're basically getting injection of bull volume. The candles, the last two candles look very good, the Mariposa candles, and we will be retesting this 4-hour white dashed trend line here together with the 0618 fibs. And if we do break above it, we might test this resistance here. So the way to play this would be, wait for breakout and then get in on consolidation. Have a look if it's have a look that it's not a fake out. Have a look at the volume if we are breaking out with the volume. But it's going to be hard to break through. You got 5% to go, and you got these resistances here. So let's see what's going to happen. And obviously Bitcoin is going to be affecting the market as well. So just wait and see game right now. Decision time, what is going to happen. My entry, you can see I put a line here. My entry, I was hoping that we're going to drop down to this trend line together with the 21 EMA. That's where I was going to enter, as it allows a low risk entry, because you got the 21 EMA, you got the trend line, you got this support here, which is a long time resistance, which is now support. You can see we bounced off it once, so I would have entered here, and but we never got down to it. So now I'm going to have to wait and see what's going to happen to this equilibrium, whether we break out and continue upwards, or we consolidate and get tighter longer. So what we could do is actually we could even draw a let's see if we can draw a yeah, we can't. It's almost a double top here, so 285, around 285. So this breakout would be pretty good. So if I go to a clean chart here, what I can do is I can draw a triangle here, right? I can draw a it's like an ascending triangle. It's like an ascending triangle here, so that's something to watch for as well. We're gonna retest this 285 level to 90 level, very key, and we have to hold this trend line here, which is very key as well. So that's Ethereum. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's go have a look at the dollar. So dollar had a huge breakout. It's trying to break out of this long sort of a triangle here on the monthly, and you can see that it it's going upwards and it wants to test the 100 here. It's got a bit of a wick here, I think. Yeah, if you look on the weekly, this trend line here, we tested it, but there's a wick rejecting it right now. Yeah, let's see what next week brings. If we reject it or we try to retest it once more. Here, Australian dollar is in complete shambles, and it's got the lowest price since 2009. So in the last how many years? 20 years? Wait. 11 years, last 11 years, lowest price. So yeah, just Australian dollar is getting completely obliterated. Keep away from it. And if you look at dollar against a gold and Australian dollars, it's at all-time highs. So yeah, it's just Australian dollars is getting slaughtered the last 10 years. Quick look at the oil. The oil, I had a trend line here, and it seems to be bouncing off it at the moment. This trend line, so let's make it a bit more visible. So this trend line here is so far bounced, which could have been a good entry. We had another trend line here, but that one didn't hold and we completely smashed through it. So oil is just not doing really well here. You know, if we do break below this trend line, oil is in trouble. And maybe if we look on the 3 monthly chart, very, very long term, maybe we're going to test 33 here if we break below this trend line. So yeah, who knows? I guess I did post before, either on Twitter or on YouTube, saying that it would be a good entry for nat gas if you got a bullish divergence on the RSI, because before the bounce, and that's exactly what we got here, which worked out really well with this long-time trend line as well. So we bounced 15%, because every time we had a bullish divergence in the past on the daily, we always bounced a good amount of percent previously, and this time is no different. So we had a nice bounce and we bounced off the trend line here, very, very long-term trend line. And we're pretty much trying to test the all-time low for gas, which is at 1.574. So yeah, it's the play has happened already. So now, whatever. I didn't play it really because I was just too busy with other things, such as space. So space had a space run. How much? So if you look from the bottom, which was in the end of 2019, it's gone up 500%. Huge. I think my last analysis was when I was over here, and that's pretty much what happened. What I said was, except I didn't expect this follow through over here, but now we're getting really volatile moves here. So I'm out of my space positions. I'm just gonna wait to see what the dust settles, and which way we're gonna go. And especially because we got earnings coming up on the 25th of February, and the earnings should be bearish, I guess, because I don't think they're making any money at all yet. So we're likely to dump here after the earnings get announced, to flush out all the moon boys and space boys, all the hype people, all the herd that bought in too late, and now think that space is going to 100. So maybe they're going to flush it out, and maybe the price is even going to come down to the 21 EMA at around 25, 26 to 28 area. Who knows? Let's see what happens. We're just gonna play it day by day, but I do want to rebuy this stock at some point in the future. So yeah. Let's have a look at CGC real quick. CGC is looking terrible, not that good. We had this little pump here, but we got rejected from the trend line, which was a support and now it's resistance. So now we're going sideways, but we are above the daily 21 EMA, so actually, and it might be like a little bull flag here forming. So as long as we hold above the daily 21 EMA, it's good, and maybe it would be a good entry next week if we do dump at the open. To just play this one and put a stop pretty much low. You know, this one could be a stop here at 21.58. 21.58. So if we hold 21.58 or we dump just below it and then recover, then could be a good entry here and put a stop there, and then there is a possibility that we break bull here and keep going up. Who knows? Have your stops in, have your plan, whatever your plan is. Another interesting one is the T rule, which is OTC. The OTC ticker is TCNNF, and it's getting very, very tight here. So if we look on the weekly, it's in this massive range equilibrium. So it's got low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. And if we zoom in here, zoom in on the daily, we got an equilibrium on daily now, and it's getting pretty tight. So 12%. So if we do come next week and form a higher low, then you know there's two ways of playing it, right? You're trying to catch a bottom, or you're trying to play the breakout. There's two ways of playing it, and you gotta know what you're gonna do. So, but it is looking very interesting. And if we do break bull, then we have this trend line resistance, dashed trend line resistance on the weekly to worry about. So we might break out, then we might consolidate to retest this breakout, and then break out later. So very, very interesting stock here, and they seem to have really good fundamentals to their business. So let's see what happens. So yeah, just in summary, we are all good. We're getting a bit of a consolidation on the SP 500. Right now on Friday we got supported by daily 21 EMA. The bulls optimally they want to hold this next week and pump, but even then our weekly high low is 320, which is really far away, almost 4%, which is huge for S&P 500. And as long as we're uptrending on the weekly, we're all good. But always, always practice caution with this coronavirus and with this long-term trend line resistance. So maybe what we're going to do is we're going to do sideways action for now, and we're just going to get into a chop here. So you gotta make sure you don't get chopped out if such conditions start to happen. So anyway, thanks very much. See you later. Let me know if you want me to do any tickers in the future, and I can cover those. Bye.